Hi everyone, I just would like to go through the age requirement and English requirement for 186, 187, 494 and 482 and 457 visas, and the way English waiver if that so the candidate cannot meet the requirements. So basically for 482, if the occupation is on a non-term occupation list, English requirement is IELTS 5 or PTE equivalent. And they have an English waiver, for example, that the company is a overseas company and the salary is greater than 96,400. So the head office is overseas, not in Australia, and the candidate is required to come to Australia to work in one of the branch. Or the candidate has either a registration license or membership, and the language was required for that registration is higher or equivalent to IELTS 5. For example, some of the licensing they required IELTS 6, and if you already have that license, then no English requirement, no English exam report is needed. Or that the candidate has 5 years secondary / and or higher education, but 5 years secondary means high school plus a higher education including diplomas. So if someone who completely studies in English for the 5 years in the last for the secondary and higher education, then no English report is provided. So age waiver, there is no age limit for 482, either long-term or short-term occupation list, doesn't matter. So there's no age requirement, that's no age rule or age waiver clause. For 186 TRT, okay, transition means someone who's already on or was on a 457 visa or was on 482 visa. What's the rule for them? So general rule is if someone is on 482 visa, the age limit is 45 and English is 6 or PTE 36 equivalent. So there is no English waiver. Okay, you must obtain IELTS 6 on each band unless you are one of the visa holders, for example, British citizen, Canadian, New Zealand. So one of the 4 or 5 countries. If not, then you have to obtain IELTS 6 on each band. There is a age waiver though. It's that you have to be a high income earner in the last 3 years, and then when you're in the last 3 years, he had to have to be either a 457 visa holder or 482 visa holder. So that is age waiver provided in the last 3 years before you apply for this 186 TRT, that you earn up to 100, so at least 149. So this is not so 149. It's according to the high income threshold. For 2018 to 2019, it's believed to be 145. I think this year is 2019 to 2020. That's 149,000. So it's according to Fair Work high income threshold. So if someone who was a 457 visa or is a 457 visa or applied before for 2017, then the age limit increased to 50. So they can apply even they are over 45 but under 50. There is English requirement of 6, and there is no English waiver either. Of course, if you hold one of the passport, for example, from UK, then you don't need to provide this. For age waiver, still the case if you were on the 457 or 482 visa holder, and for at least 3 years you hit the high income threshold, then you have age waiver. Okay, so for 457 visa, in addition to that, if you hold 457 visa prior to the application, then you only need to work for 2 years on the 457 visa with the same employer on the same occupation. If you apply through the normal stream, so 186 TRT, you have to under 45 IELTS 6, high income, and work for at least 3 years. So this is a new rule. The 186 TRT, this one is a grandparenting rule using the same, but there is no English waiver. Okay. So for 186 direct entry, this doesn't require the candidate to have a 457 or 482 visa. This 186 direct entry requires English 6, under 45, age under 45, no English waiver, and only someone who can obtain age waiver. For instance, they are academic applicant, science applicant, or subclass 444 or 446. 461 visa holder. So there is actually no age waiver for direct entry unless you're scientist. And the additional requirement for 186 direct entry is skill assessment, positive skill assessment. For 494, this is a regional employer-sponsored visa. If the company is operating in regional Australia, then there's no much difference in terms of age limit, English requirement, and a waiver clause. Okay, and they have to have a skill assessment as well for skill assessment as well for 494. Bear in mind that the English requirement for 492 visa is at the time of decision requirement, while English requirement for 186 is at the time of application requirement. Meaning, when the time you lodge visa application, so 186 visa application, you must have English ready, English exam ready. If you don't have an English exam ready, report ready for English 6 on each band, IELTS 6 on each band, the visa will be refused as long as they allocate the case office. If you go appeal for that case, you'll lose the case because you did not meet the requirement at the time of the application. For 482, which is different, 482 English requirement, it's at the time of decision. So this decision can refer to department's decision or tribunal's decision or court decision. So if, for example, we have been the case where, for example, we lodged 457 visa or 482 visa, the client was not able to meet the English requirement, but during the processing time, the visa, for example, was refused, then they went to appeal. Then during the appeal time, they got English satisfaction. Then they can provide to the tribunal and they can overturn the case. So it's really critical. 186, you cannot lodge a visa application at the time the candidate could not satisfy the English requirement, because that will be automatically a refusal. In this scenario, I think I do not recommend to lodge 186 direct entry or TRT if you're not going to able to get English. There's no hope to get English 6 on each band. So I will highly recommend to apply for 482 long-term occupation, 482 visa, and then hit and try to obtain IELTS 5 or PTE equivalent. I will highly recommend to try PTE exam instead of the IELTS, because the difference between two exams, PTE, it can be done by computer, which means you're less likely to make errors. And according to clients' experience, PTE exam is slightly easier than IELTS because it's really general one. You can likely to get more scores, more marks on PT exam compared to IELTS 5. By all means, if we cannot obtain the IELTS 5 at the time of lodgement, 482 lodgement, if the visa is refused, then you can request appeal. If this is really can't meet this requirement, I think it will be likely we can seek for any other visas in the interim, just provided that if we can meet the English requirement. So basically, I would like to seek other visa options apart from 482 employer-sponsored visas. I hope this clarifies. Thank you.